What's going on, my beautiful people on X and every other platform out there? We are trying something out here. I just realized I'm trying to make sure that our broadcast is actually going out with the right name and everything else along those lines. Because, yeah, it's been a struggle. Let me tell you, there's a few platform things that are going on that we got to figure out how to actually push these things live. Right now, I know that it's definitely on X, but it's not behaving it properly. And with that, Locke, take it away. Give everybody a little intro while I try to troubleshoot.
All right. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the weekly news here at Genzio, where we talk about what is going on in Web3, the latest trends, the latest happenings, and we cover everything that you need to know in this space.
It's really whatever Locke thinks you need to know, but yeah, we'll go with that.
Exactly. It's a process. It's what they give me, and then what we give to them. It's just the ideas are just.
We can be honest here. Like, things change, guys. Like, whatever is given to us doesn't always make it. When we talk about it, we kind of go through a document and go, that's really boring. Nobody cares. Let's just skip.
And some things too, Web3 is a space that moves so fast. We might get the document, and then by the time we're actually start talking about it, things are changing.
Yes, very true. Very true. There's always some new developments. That's a fact. I mean, and to be fair, that's awesome. That's actually not a bad thing. I quite enjoy it. I mean, talk about AI, right? In this space as well. It's the same idea. We're having new things come out literally on a daily basis. So, today's news might be tomorrow's. I don't know how that saying goes. I'm not American. Sorry, it's my second language. You should tell me what that saying actually is, Locke.
I don't know what this. I thought it was one person's trash is another man's treasure.
That works too. That works too.
So what do we have on the docket for today action?
Wow, Locke is not prepared. He doesn't have the document opened up, or what's going on
Let me
here?
see.
He's trying to or he's just trying to create good conversation. Tell me what's going on.
I'm trying to create some conversation.
I think the best part of streams and shows is like the fact that people are always so uptight about things, right? Like, don't get me wrong, some people do it really well. I mean, yeah, shout out to some of my favorite streamers out there that have not missed a day streaming over the last 5 years. That's Sam, by the way. He's freaking G. He's awesome on YouTube. If you guys have not seen Sam lost his mom, his dad had a child be born, and didn't miss a single day of streaming. Like, those are the real heroes of the space.
Oh my gosh. Truly.
Yeah. Incredible individuals out there, I'll tell you. And they do it because they love it, right? It's not because they're getting a paycheck out of it. Does he make money? Yeah, he can make a bunch of money just trading himself, but he loves teaching people and showing others how to be successful as well. And it's been his outlet to getting people out of their rut and, getting them to the next level. And that's really what I hope for everybody, right? I wouldn't be doing shows. I wouldn't be interviewing people. I wouldn't be doing spaces or even live streams if I didn't see the value in empowering others to get them to the next level. So that's really the reason I do what I do. Zach is not paying me nearly enough to be here.
I'm here because I wanna be here for fun. That's why I'm here, truly. So I like talking about these things. I want to get more involved in doing stuff like this and get some practice. And here we are.
Are we opening this up? This is a great idea. Guys, if you would like to be part of the Genzio weekly live stream, hit me up. Actually, no, I'm going to put this on Locke. Hit Locke up and ask him, like, hey, I would love to be part of this thing. I don't care if you have a bunch of experience or no experience at all. Reach out. I want to actually, kind of move forward with things. And I think the best way to do it is just to try it. And like, if you're willing to stick your neck out there and actually get it done and do it, more power to you. I'm always here to support people. You guys think I'm like, just joking around. Like, I can't tell you the number of like people that were like, I want to become an influencer. It's like, yeah, cool. Give me a call. Here's my calendar. Book it. I'll talk to you about it, give you the pros and cons, and figure out if you're cut out for this thing. A lot of people have been really successful that I talk to. I mean, I have contact with literally every influencer in the world, more or less, and it is not for everybody, but boy, is it fun when you kind of get into it. And you gotta find yourself now before you become famous. That's the one tip that I'll give to everybody, regardless of where they think they are. So Locke, get yourself grounded, okay, buddy? Because like once you're filthy rich, remember the little people.
Remember the little people. I kind of have I don't know, like I feel like this is kind of like almost like radio experience or like broadcasting experience is kind of like the idea, like what we're doing. But I feel like I have like it's almost like a performance kind of thing that you put on when you do types of things like this. And I used to be like a teacher, and I have like a music degree, so I like used to perform in front of people. I feel maybe this is like similar, I suppose, a little bit. One thing I really like too, actually, I don't know if you're like a radio person, but I love listening to radio. I used to listen to the radio all the time when I was a kid, and people like tell stories and stuff on the radio. Like that's kind of like things that I think of when I think of these kind of similar things. But I think getting on camera is just like you just got to do it, and then you get accustomed to it like over
Yeah,
time.
it's
Kind
practice. It's absolutely
of
practice.
practice, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. Most people don't know this, but my last like real job, before I became unemployed and started doing crypto full time, is this technically unemployed, guys? Let's be serious. I was the chief operations officer for the largest public speaking and debate company in the world. Like for middle school and high school kids, we ran camps in every major university you can think of, from your UCLA's to your Harvards of the world. We have a presence there. Even expanding internationally, doing Singapore University. We're going to go to Oxford, and COVID hit, and everything went downhill from there. So, yeah, it's
That's
the whole
cool.
public speaking thing. It's not something that you are born with. Some people, yeah, but there is a very few people like that. It's all about practice. The more you do it, the better you get at it. It's like, it's like playing an instrument, not riding a bike. Riding a bike, can always get on and do it. Playing an instrument, you don't do it long enough, you get rusty. You stop, you lose those skills, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, I
do they
know,
lose
man.
those skills, Mr. Teacher?
I know, man. I need to. Well, I haven't played the piano in quite a while, actually. Like, and
It's
I
been almost a month for me, and I'm dying over here, like, because I was doing renovations at my house, and I put it away, and I'm like, I need to bring that thing back.
I need to. There's literally a piano right behind me. You can't see, but
Oh,
it's a baby grand piano, but it's like so out of tune right now. It's like the piano's like over about 100 years old, and it's just like so out of tune. I haven't like touched it, and so I don't know. Actually, I used to play piano in church. I mean, I studied the piano in college, like so. It's just something that I need to continue in my life. Otherwise, it's like you know what I mean. Like it's gonna fall to the wayside, and like lose that
I
skill.
completely agree. Completely agree. Yeah, but and this is fun. I can't complain one bit about hanging out with you and having these conversations, figuring out life together. Because I'll be honest with you, like people come out for the information, but they stay for the entertainment, right? It's what you're talking about, radio. Like I wish I was more of a radio person, but since I am unemployed, I don't leave the house very much. So there's not a lot of radio going on in my life recently. But I mean, we can have segments
Yeah,
if you're
yeah, yeah.
really interested. We can go, all right, guys, this is the time you're going to close your eyes and we're going to go ahead and actually have a nice little conversation with you. Just imagine the world, and then we can go into it. But let's talk about what's going on
That's the
out there,
thing,
man.
man. I gotta, video is like, it truly is like video killed the radio star, right? Like I love radio so much, but it really is true. It's just like video is like the thing that everybody
It
wants.
didn't kill the radio star. Podcasts are still out there, man. It's just a different format. Like I'll be
That's the
honest, like
thing.
I'm working on a podcast right now with some pretty high end people. Taiwan, what is it, semiconductor company. Like I have some of the C suites that want to be on the podcast. Like I got a lot of that stuff going on, and I know for a fact a lot of people want to see their faces, but some they're gonna play it on Spotify and never see us ever, which is okay, right? Different strokes for different folks, I guess, is the way that this thing goes. So it's really about preference, right? Like you have your Joe Rogans of the world out there. A lot of people just listen to the guy. They don't even watch the podcast itself. They're just listening to what's happening there. So it's there's definitely still room for that. And it's a matter of balancing it out because all right, I'm gonna give the tip on anybody that's actually trying to create content and be somebody out here. Stop creating content that you enjoy. Start creating content that other people enjoy. Because if you just create it for yourself, nobody's gonna care. But if you're creating content for others, you start to think about what do the mass population actually care about. Because you need a dense population to be able to support your hobby until it can become a business. So you can't just be talking about, guys, let me tell you, I just redid my kitchen and I chose quartz over anything else. It was fantastic. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, right? Figure out what people actually care about and go from there. Thankfully, this show doesn't have that. We can just talk about whatever we want, right, Locke? Until Kinga comes over and gets upset and talks to you about it.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I've said too much. Right. I've said too much.
Now we're in trouble, actually. Now we're in trouble.
It's okay. I expected that from the beginning. All right. I'm an idiot, so I can't talk too much about financial markets. So I'm going to rely on you to do that. How about that?
All right. I'll try my best, man.
I'll give the headline. Macro shifts shaping financial markets. This is your Genzio news for, what is it? January, February, March, April 10th, 2026. I thought it would add a little bit of character if I had to count my months.
So we got macro shifts shaping the financial. Well, what are the macro shifts? That's
where you come in. Question. You go, all right, let's take a look at what's happening on Bloomberg, and we'll take a look at these markets. The S&P 500 is up 0.25% at this time. Yeah,
I know ranks were pretty up and down. You know, Donald Trump said he was gonna blow Iran completely up, and then later in the day, he's just kidding, and a lot of things changed in that day.
Is that how you're translating that? Let's be serious. If you're gonna talk about that, let me go ahead and give the real news. So two B-52s took off from the UK. Nobody knew was on those planes. It was one of those moves you got hours until something goes down, make a decision. And nobody wants to lose face. So, it happened an hour and a half before they were supposed to, kind of be over Iran. Kind of crazy to think about nowadays. People actually know these planes are coming from, the other side of the world. There's tracking that anybody can see what's actually happening. It's pretty wild to see that. And again, the only reason you know about that is because they kept their their transponders on, because they don't have to do that. They can turn it off and be like, we're gonna go nice and quiet. But this was definitely a on purpose kind of situation where they wanted them to know that they were coming, and to force their hand to make a decision to kind of make things stop to a certain extent. Was it the best move? I can't say it was the best move, but it definitely wasn't the worst. I think the worst would have been if Iran wasn't here anymore. That would have been bad for a lot of people. So
tend to agree with that.
No, you can't go like this. You gotta actually say it out loud, okay? Let's pretend that you're my radio guy, Locke. You realize people can't read those.
People can't see the head nods on the radio.
Exactly. Which is why I'm so good at radio, man. The sarcasm never comes through. People are like, "Is he serious?"
Oh my gosh. Well, I think action. I didn't know about that, actually. I did. I mean, I didn't really know exactly what happened that day. I just kind of heard people talk a little bit about it on the timeline. I saw the market go up and down, and I saw some headlines. I'm sure a lot of people do, right?
Yep.
And that was it. So okay. I think that I was gonna say I think that Donald Trump is not our greatest military commander. I don't really trust him to do the best job in the Middle East. But
I was under the understanding that he's great. Just great.
He's great at everything that he does. That's what he tells everybody.
Did you see Bitcoin today? Oh, did you see Bitcoin today? Okay, we're basically up almost 10% over the last 7 days. That's me, baby. That's me making those things happen. Over the last 7 days, we're up 8.88%. So it's not looking too shabby, man. We're almost at $73,000, which is definitely a big shift from what we've seen in the past few weeks. We saw it bump up, but it was always a quick crash down. This is actually holding for more than an hour, which is impressive.
Do you think it'll stay here for a while? So we'll kind of hover around here for a little bit and then move from there?
Or we're not. I don't think we're going to see any immediate action or movements on this thing. What I'm looking forward to right now is actually altcoin season.
Solana summer. coming up?
I mean, we'll see what happens with Solana. I mean, I'm trying to pick my words carefully. Dude, here's the problem. I have a lot of NDAs, and I'm really good at not saying things I'm not supposed to. So I'm like going through my brain here, like what are the things that I can hint at to help people, but not disclose things that I know that I'm not supposed to talk about. Like for example, one of the
give us
reasons
the
why
alpha without breaking the law. Action.
it's not a law. What do you mean breaking the law?
Breaking the the contracts.
The agreement. Yeah.
The agreement.
So I will say that I think I will be playing a part in altcoin season actually kicking off with some of the announcements that I have my hands in. I am trying to get these announcements and things rolling within the next 3 months. That is my personal deadline. My goal is 2 months. So, but we're talking about like I need to get, hundreds of devices not only purchased but also installed. I'm trying to get bypass development by simply getting something off the shelf that already exists, but it's going to be around the globe with different countries kind of joining the game and showing that DePIN is still a viable opportunity, which is why I'm saying it's going to feed into the whole altcoin season narrative.
Altcoin DePIN summer.
Yeah. I mean, DePIN is profitable, and it has been profitable if you're in the right things for a long time. I think it gets a really bad rap right now because people are not making as much money as they used to.
Yeah.
I'm happy people are not making as much money as they used to. Don't get me wrong. Like I can get some YouTube videos cranked out, like when peak of the markets, like I was getting over 40,000 views on a single video because people were hyped up about making money. And I'm okay. It's not like it used to be because that only creates that temporary hype that doesn't keep anybody engaged. What I want is subtle but consistent returns. That's really what I strive for because that gets people in the right mindset of what our decentralized world is all about. What we're always pushing for is to create opportunities for people around the globe that would otherwise not have access to these different financial tools, essentially, right? If you're in Africa and let's say you have a good internet connection, but everybody's phones around you are terrible, well, guess what? If you can host a hotspot to improve connectivity for those phones, you can make money. Yep. That's the sort of thing that I'm looking at. And if we can pair it up with the West and let's say have Westerners fund the hardware and profit share with the people that might not have the revenue to deploy some of these things, it's a win-win for everybody, especially myself if I take a cut.
And then there's ownership involved too with everybody, so everyone gets their own kind of piece of the pie that they should be getting too.
Well, bro, I will tell you right now, telcos in Africa are struggling so bad. And I'm going to say the quiet part out loud that no one is willing to say, but this is the God honest truth. They can't keep up their infrastructure because of a few reasons. The main one that no one is allowed to talk about is theft.
Oh, okay.
And I have to like walk on eggshells when I'm talking to, people in Africa because my whole goal is to try to explain to them, like, there's this mentality of ownership. When somebody owns something, what do? They take care of it. They treat it like it's their own because it is. So if you go out and you install a cell tower packed with copper, give it a week. That thing's going to get broken into. You're going to have infrastructure problems. People are going to just cut the stuff up. They're probably going to get electrocuted, hurt themselves, and take as much of the value that you install there for themselves as possible. But if you change the game and instead of saying, hey, we own the infrastructure, saying you can own the infrastructure, you're going to defend it with your life. That can literally be a piece of revenue that comes into your household every month. Why would you not protect it? Why would you not defend it? Why would you not treat it well? That's the mindset change that I'm talking about. And it's not hard to convince people. I've stepped on some toes giving this exact explanation to some individuals, which is okay because I guess if the truth is what's setting people free, I'm okay with that. I'm totally down for it. I will go ahead and say the quiet part out loud if it helps get countries, institutions, and governments to the next level and to where I want them to be, which is empowering their people. I'm America first. Got to put that out there, guys. America first when I'm in America. But if I'm working with Nigeria, I'm gonna be Nigeria first to help them. So it's just a matter of like helping these different communities around the globe get to their own next level. It's not so much like action needs to be the all end all and be all. It's how can I help people level up. I guess is the best way to put it.
Yeah. I think people when they have a stake in something, obviously they care a lot more, and that really like that's kind of like the ethos of like this the space that we're in. Just like makes a lot of sense.
And that applies for me as well. Like if you give me steak, I'm gonna be all in for it. Wait. There it is.
But don't. So actually I'm curious. What DeepIn nodes do you run? I love DeepIn actually.
Yes, I run them.
All of them. All like what projects like do you like
Everything.
if I wanted to get involved in DeepIn right now,
Yeah.
what would you tell me to
Get
start?
involved with what you know. Step one, no
Okay.
question about it. Like don't go out there and try to do something that you don't understand. Same thing as trading, same thing as selling items on eBay. Don't go out there and start playing with things that you don't understand. Focus on the areas that you actually get, because that's the easiest way that people lose money in this space is that they go out on a limb going, oh, that thing looks cool, right? Hang on. Yo, did you hear about Aether nodes? Like they're really cool, guys. We should get one. Everybody should get one.
Yeah.
Why? Do you know what they do?
Yeah. No. I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, like this thing here, like the Aether network is really like a GPU compute network essentially, but this
Oh
little
yeah, it's a GPU lending.
but
Yeah,
that but
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's just a little node. That's essentially like an Android device in a big box. It's not worth the price
Uh,
tag, and it doesn't generate as much revenue as it should. When if you got in early, absolutely. Again, a lot of the game that gets played here is how early can you be to a network. Like I'll give you a perfect example right now. Daba network, those guys are about to go live with their token. I don't know how that's going to play out because I know a lot of people that have been mining Daba for a while and they're ready to, I don't want to say cash out, but take some profits. So I am slightly concerned about what that price tag is going to look like. But if you get in
yeah.
early, it's profitable. It's going to be great. Token goes live. You have all these tokens that have been allocated to you. Go to town, sell. Make sure you're making money. And that's something that I never did in the past. I would always hold it, no, go write it up and write it down. But you can't do that with altcoins, man. It's just
Hmm.
not the way that it works. So
Yeah.
take profit. Nobody ever has ever gone broke taking profits. So remember to do that, regardless of which platform that you're mining from. But again, Lockley, you got to figure out what it is that you actually enjoy. Like that's the main thing, or you got to dive deep into something specific. Like if you're talking about Daba, for example, you got to understand how Wi-Fi works. You got to understand why it matters. You got to understand how far the reach is, and then you got to go into the economics aspect of things. How much am I earning? How much does it actually cost for me to run these devices? Because we can bundle even Bitcoin mining within DeepIn because it is a decentralized infrastructure.
Of course.
It's not cheap. I can't profitably mine Bitcoin where I'm at. It's just
Right.
it's literally impossible. The cost of electricity for me is way too high for that to be viable. But some people, again, they don't understand that and they just go for it. It's like, oh yeah, I'm mining Bitcoin. It's like, why are you losing money right now? What do
Yeah,
you
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like you're
Yeah,
legitimately
yeah.
losing money because you're not doing you're not checking the price. You're not actually figuring out what matters most. So you gotta hold yourself accountable, right? Stop treating how do I even say this in a nice way? Stop treating crypto as a hobby. Start dealing with it as a business. When you shift that mindset, everything changes. The amount of money you spend on devices will change. How you allocate funds will change. Your entire perspective in the space will absolutely change.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's like I've run a couple of the pin notes, but it's like I've the notes that you don't actually have to buy anything. Like I ran like a gradient node on my computer, like a grass node on the browser, like for a while. But I've never
Yo,
actually like
wait,
bought physical hardware.
does Lock like
Huh?
grass?
Like the project.
Sure.
I mean, I also like the other kind of grass, but I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna quit smoking that too. But
We're on
um,
YouTube. Genzio's about to get their account canceled.
oh no. I no, I don't know anything about grass. The project, grass the project. That's what made me think of you were talking about the Daba thing with the token thing. So, I started running a grass node, and it was after they did the first airdrop, and it was like right in the beginning when they were starting like to for the second airdrop, and they do the epochs, like every
Yep.
month or something. They go into the next epoch, and the first airdrop, I think it went to like 8 or 9 epochs or something, and this one, we're up to like 20, like the 20th epoch. Like they just been like, you know what I mean? Like it's coming, it's
Oh yeah.
coming, it's coming, and the price of the token, I think the grass token at one point was like had an all-time high of like almost like $3 or something, and it's like 30 cents now. And then also too, one of the things too was like with these tokens, I
Excuse
don't know.
you. 35 cents. Okay, it's up 12%
It
over
went
the
up.
last 24 hours.
It did go up. It did go up recently. It did go up. That's like a token that I actually check the price of regularly just because I'm like kind of curious. Like I don't actually run a grass node anymore because I'm just like, because someone told me to. Also another thing, somebody told me to. They were like, you need to be careful with like the deepen stuff too, because a lot of like Web3 stuff isn't like developed super well, and so like there can be like it can be kind of vulnerable in like some of these
Sure.
applications and some of these
Absolutely.
codes, and so like they're like, be careful just like running a node on your computer. And I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just get rid of this, and so the price has gone down like quite a bit. Like the airdrop is who knows where. And one of the things too, I don't know if it's like this with the Daba thing, is like you can stake those tokens, and they usually give you like
Sorry. Yeah. Look at this chart, guys.
I know. They usually give you like a really high APY, when you stake like these tokens, right? To like, because they want to like, keep the network secured or whatever, and like whatever.
No.
No, that's not it. That's not it. Why?
They give
Why
you an
did
APY because they're trying to prevent you from selling the token itself. The whole goal
What?
was to stabilize the price. That's why people are giving yield.
That's why.
It's not because they need the tokens to secure the network. I mean, that's
right.
the ruse that they might use on people, but that's not what's happening.
No. That's not what they tell people. I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I said
Wow,
it.
Locke is making grass out to be a bunch of scammers. I'm
Stop.
gonna have a conversation with them.
This guy. And so, anyways, the APY used to be really high, because that's why there's a ton of tokens. There's like a ton of tokens staked, right? Like there was like a lot of like to secure the price. And so now that has obviously dropped off because a lot of people have unstaked their tokens.
Yep.
Because they wanted to sell, right? And so like I remember thinking about this at the time, like 'cause I didn't put like that's another thing too. Like I never I'm a very risk adverse person. Like I've never been someone that had a lot of capital to invest, and so like I put like $1,000 into like the grass token, which is like a lot of money for me. Like
it's a lot of money for most people. What do you mean?
Well, but I think maybe that's the one thing too. Actually, you see people on the timeline and they're talking. People throw around like it seems like these crypto people are like throwing around like lots of money and doing all this and that, but. Anyways,
keep talking. I'm gonna put you on the main screen here. I'm gonna grab something.
Okay. So I put a lot of money, $1,000 into the grass token, and staked it for like I think it was like 40% APY or something, 35%. It was like a really high APY, and at the time, I remember thinking, I was like, the price, like I was like what in the future is gonna would like make this project go south or something, because it's like the concept of the idea behind it, there's like downloading the internet and like using all that data. Like, I believe in the power, like I believe in the idea of just like having a lot of data and it's like useful. And I was like, well, I guess like if they, like that, what happens to a lot of projects, right? They fudge the airdrop. They just like they don't deliver on any of these promises. Like, and then people start like not believing in the project anymore. And then that's what happened so far with Grass. I don't know. I don't actually check into it anymore. Like I kind of gave up.
And that's what most people are hoping for, because what happens to that liquidity you provided? It's basically gone. You're never going to see
still have it.
Do you still have $1,000 worth of their token?
No, but I still have all the same amount of tokens, right? So like I guess I am kind of like the person like yes, I guess that liquidity is gone. Like, but I haven't like I don't at least sell it off, I guess. Like, but yeah, I mean, internally in my mind, like that's like a complete loss, right? Like, so anything that I get back is like, oh wow, that's cool. But
so let me address some of this. Let me address some of these things. Is like, you know what? I'm gonna start that YouTube channel again. I'm gonna start making videos. So y'all watch out for it, because I feel like people are still falling
like a lost puppy, a lost DePIN puppy. Hey man, I would love for you to. I'd love your help.
I've made people millions with the information I've given them. I've made really good friends because I've never asked for anything in return from those people. I don't want you to be the guy that loses the money so they can make it. Let me just put it that way. So I don't think Grass are a bunch of scammers. I think that DePIN as a whole is a misunderstood platform that VCs and high net worth individuals have milked for a long time. So finding ways to prevent that is really, really important. First and foremost, let's talk about CT, because, and that's why I stepped away for a second. I wanted to show you guys what CT is all about. CT is all about this right here. It's all about flaunting how many bands you have. That's it. Is it real?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You're not going to hear about the losses. You're going to hear about the wins. So like, for every time you see somebody posting and bragging about how good they have it, they're not posting about the other times they lost money. That's what people don't realize. Like, nobody's going on like, share this trade, I lost 300%. Like, that doesn't happen. People are only sharing the trades when they actually hit it big, And that was a joke, because you can't lose 300%.
I wonder if the person that, like, if there was a person that would be constantly posting their losses, like if that person could make generate a following, like.
Oh, absolutely.
A transparent a real transparent trader,
People want to see losses more than they want to see wins. And I have some friends that actually show their losses, and like, that is awesome. It's okay to lose. The goal here is to win more than you lose. But if you're expecting to never lose, something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong.
I expect to lose like 90% of the time.
Oh, bro, all I do is win. Win. No matter what.
I lose a lot of the time, and then when I get that one win, it's like a big win.
Yeah, no. This space is weird. It's funny how it works, but going back to the DePIN aspect of it, man, like, you gotta know when to take your money out. I am guilty of this myself. The reason I like DePIN is because it's an easy way for me to save money. I don't really cash out as often as I should. So the money just sits there. Every once in a while, like, wait, I made a few $1,000s. Where did this money come from? This is fantastic. That's kind of how I treat my DePIN devices. I'm not looking to make continuous revenue that's paying the bills month over month. That's not my goal with DePIN. But it does, bring in a decent amount of revenue, because once you deploy, you sit back and you enjoy the earnings, right? But you got to be careful and remember to sell. Set reminders if you need to. I like what you said about kind of getting started with non-hardware related DePINs, because there's plenty of them out there that you can start earning right now that are going to be worthwhile. And I'll give you an example. PathPulse. I'm not supposed to be talking about this too much. I kind of have an NDA, but I told the leader there, that Umair, that I would still, share some things so I get people excited about this one. So PathPulse is going under the radar right now. I am working directly with them, and I have gotten them multiple pilot programs around the world. They're not really making a big splash about it. They don't even have a token out yet, but you can mine by sharing that data with them. This is a really important thing to keep in mind. Some people want to build a business and then launch it on crypto. Some people want to launch something on crypto so that they can build a business.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on the people that are creating a business before coming into the space, because too often, and I've seen this time and time again, people are just creating tokens and launching things with the hype that it might become something one day, but there's no real product behind it. The companies I choose to work with and I choose to get behind, and even take money from, are companies that understand that there is more to this space than to just extracting value from the users. It's the people who are actually willing to put their money where their mouth is and build the business first, and then leverage that business to grow it and generate revenue for the people involved in it. Those are the real ones, and that's really all what I'm always looking for, because I can name off uh, you know dozens of deep in projects that have a great idea that you can mine to earn, and they are basically just giving you all the VC money they received in the past because they're not profitable, and they're not going to be profitable, and they're going to die off soon. You got to ask, where is the yield coming from? Where is the revenue generation actually taking place? And usually, if you can't put your finger on and say, oh, Google's paying X number of dollars for their data, you're the one they're making the money from. This is how the Helium network grew. That's how they got almost a million devices early on, was because they would grab the money from the devices that were sold. They would burn the token. Every device that came on the network had to burn tokens to be onboarded. So it was a Ponzi scheme to maintain the price action of the token. Too many people do it that way. It's almost expected to a certain extent, which is a little sad, because you're essentially just pinning investor against other investors and saying whoever comes in first makes the most amount of money. And again, 100% just a pyramid scheme, and it's not
it's
healthy.
like a race to the bottom.
Exactly. So like now it's changed with Helium, for example. They're actually having contracts with telcos, and they're generating revenue by selling data, selling over the air data, that Wi-Fi offloading data, basically, is what it is. That's a business. It's finally a business.
Yeah. It's like you can't use customer revenue to like pay
It's exactly what was happening, though. It's exactly what was happening.
Yeah. Like you need to have a sustainable business before you can actually like do these things. Which, I mean, yeah, it's almost like we're like so used to seeing that in crypto, like the other way around, right? Where people just like, they're like, here's all this hype and here's no substance, and like, and then it's they don't actually build the systems up first.
And the reason I'm telling people not to get into those things is because you need to have a good understanding of it first. I made 6 figures off of Helium, bro, with all that stuff. Like, no, like, what is it the kids say these days? So I'm old, guys. No cap. But like, I made good money off of Helium, but I understood that it was a race to the bottom. So that is one of the few projects that I actually took money out. I cashed out. I knew that price was going to go down eventually, and I need to make sure that I secured my earnings. I was not stupid with that token specifically, just because I had a lot writing on it. So I wanted to make sure that I was getting my money back. And it's okay for y'all to actually take advantage of those opportunities. Just I'd much rather you have an understanding how these systems work and how people get taken advantage of before you take advantage of the system. It's the best way to put it.
Yeah. Well, hey man, actually, if you start like putting out information to learn more about these things, like, because I really believe in the idea of like DeepIn and it's building out a network and giving like I think this is something that actually would really help a lot of the AI problems that we're seeing. Like all these data centers are basically centralized data, and I think it's going to become a problem in the future. So I think like spreading a lot of these things out to like onto the people makes it like a lot more, what's the word? Like, I think people would want to get more involved if they had more of a stake in something like this, this kind of infrastructure that we're trying to build out as well.
So there are plenty of networks out there trying to do exactly that. I'm not saying that it's not the right way to do it. I just think that it's very risky for people at this time because of a few reasons. New hardware is what people are looking for right now, and these large, AI companies, they don't care about the little guys. They have their massive infrastructures
Right.
that they're building out, and they're making money off of that. So why would they allow the small guy to actually make money when they just can be making the money themselves? There's also a big shortage on memory right now. I was trying to buy a Mac Mini last night, and I need to wait until August to be able to get it.
Wow.
It's 4
Wow.
months. 4 months to get a Mac Mini. It's pretty insane.
Yeah, there's like so much demand for all of these, for the actual like the minerals that like we need to
Oh, we're gonna
use
go
to,
there.
like,
You want to go there? All right, we can go there. That's fine. Yes, that's where the cookie
whole
crumbles. I guess you could say.
geopolitical like thing.
Oh, it's a lot. So right now we are if you look at futures for some of these metals, silver specifically is a big one, and copper. Those are like two big ones that's not necessarily on people's radars that we don't have enough of if we're going to project out 5 years. Like we can't build or we can't dig fast enough for these minerals. That's how bad it is. So yeah, prices on electronics it's going to go up just because of demand, and everyone right now needs more chips. The price of memory has 4x in some of these cases. It's insane, right? Like it's just a different cycle. These things happen all the time. I can tell you right now, the 3090 that I'm running right now on this machine that I'm on, I bought it while Ethereum mining was kind of kind of wild out there. So I paid this card off in a couple of months, and I bought off a guy on a parking lot. The dude who worked at Best Buy, he would basically buy any card he could get his hands on and resell it at the parking
It's like
lot.
a side hustle.
100% a side hustle. And I was like, bro, does your boss know you're doing this? And he goes, I don't think they care. I was like,
It's like
all right,
scalping
cool,
graphics cards in Best Buy. Like,
yeah.
So one thing too, action. So one thing that you made me think of, I was listening to a podcast about this, about infrastructure and AI infrastructure, and they were they talked to a guy in Virginia. I forget where. It was it's like a town in Virginia where there's like a ton of data centers being built right now. And the reason actually, so basically what happened was, a lot of small towns in America are essentially like looking for business, right? So they're like, because every small town and every rural town in America is basically like struggling right now. And so they're like, how can we get people, business or whatever to come to our small town? And in this particular town in Virginia, they're in the early 2000s, late 90s, they had laid down a ton of fiber actually from like AOL. Like it was like a place where they were like gonna do all this stuff, like during that period of time. And so like,
is it Ashburn?
Yes, yeah, Ashburn, Virginia, I think. Yes. And so they talked to the guy, like some guy from the government, you know what I mean? Like, and he kind of explained how this happened, and he's like, yeah, we already had everything in the ground, and so we're like, bring in Amazon, bring in Meta, like build a data center. We already have like we got the highway like leading to everything set up.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, so this is the thing that they brought up later in the podcast, is a lot of these chips that you're using. So like that 3090 that you have, like what model are they on now in graphics card?
Oh,
right?
for data centers, they're not using these consumer. They're using like Tensor cores.
Oh yeah, of course. But the point is, what I'm saying is like every year there's essentially like a newer, like these things, like it's not like you just put something in the ground and 20 years later you go and you use the same like hardware, right? Like there is new hardware that is coming out like every year essentially. And so it's like, your data center that you built 5 years ago, those like chips essentially are going to be old. Like they're going to be pretty outdated. And like the lifespan of these things is essentially, that's like one thing that a lot of these companies are kind of like up in the air about like, how much they want to say, like how much lifespan you can get on like a
Yep.
chip. You know what I mean? Like some companies are like, oh yeah, 5-10 years, and then other companies are like realistically like 2 years kind of thing. And so I think like a lot of that's going to be another issue. It's like these things constantly are going out of date, and we're always like chasing. It's like we're chasing like the next biggest thing, and it's
A,
happened
a
so quick.
a lot of people are, but like I'm a big believer in reutilizing existing infrastructure whenever possible because there's
Mhm.
plenty of work that these data centers can actually do without having to upgrade that much, right? And yes, people are always looking for the next big thing. There's no question about it, but it's got to be financially viable too. Because I'll give you an example. For personal electronics, my Mac is almost 5 years old, and I still love it. I'm perfectly happy with its performance. I got 64 gigs of of unified memory on my laptop. I got the M1 Pro, and I'm cooking. I'm not worried about any of that. Doesn't mean that it's the greatest and latest. No, but it's getting the job done. But we've come to a place, and I understand this better than a lot of people because I've seen what it's like outside of the US. In the US, we have the mentality of something's broken, throw it out and buy a new one. Everywhere else basically in the world, it's let's go ahead and fix it so this thing lasts as long as possible. So the mindset's definitely different depending where you go in the world. But also a lot of places would die to have some of these some of this hardware that these people are essentially looking at it as trash. So I think what we need is a good cycle program. I'm not talking about recycling, literally a cycle program
Yeah,
where
like a
you grab.
pipeline.
Bingo. That's exactly it. Because it's still expensive for you to extract precious metals from some of this hardware. Can you do it? Absolutely. It's not always cost effective. There's plenty of gold, silver, copper, and all of these devices, but for you to extract them, it's a pain in the butt. Like there's a lot of chemical reactions you got to go through, so it's not financially viable. So if you can actually hold on to the tech as long as possible and actually leverage it for things that need to get done, that's a dream come true for everybody. Because the problem is coming in where the requirements for some of these things are next level, right? So you need X number of memory to be able to run this one thing, or it needs to be this powerful for you to be able to contribute in this platform. That's
Hmm.
where the problem is right now. The people that I believe are doing it right is seeing what can we do with existing hardware and how can we lower requirements so that software runs on older equipment. That's really a boom I think that we're experiencing, and we saw that a year and a half ago with DeepSeek. Right, the fact that you could run DeepSeek on a computer with 8 gigs of RAM was insane, and people are like, "This is what everybody should do. This is
Yeah.
what we need. It's a great model for what it does." And we're seeing a little bit more of that, here and there as well. It's just not the norm yet because it's
Yeah.
not
I do.
profitable. It's never going to be the norm because they make more money if they don't make it the norm. Sorry.
Well, yeah, the business model is essentially incentivizing like creating new products every year and like
Yep.
like the business model is consumerism, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's the opposite of like what would make sense, like kind of
Just
what you're talking
just
about,
just
like
ask Apple. If you don't have a iPhone 17, you're a loser.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, and I think that's one thing too. Like it's almost like that, almost kind of like what I was saying is like the it's like for ordinary consumers, like I'm just like you actually. Like I think on my computer I have like a 30 like 70 or something that I got like years ago, and I'll like
Yeah.
use this computer for like the next like 5 years, right? Like it's fast. Like my computer is fast. It's like how many
I already got another
how
one ready to go.
it's like at some point graphics they got the graphics so good on the computers. It's like I don't need like a new like a 40 or whatever. Just like that's like kind of what I say in my mind. Like computers are so fast. Like I don't
People
need
people
like
were people were saying that when they were playing Atari. This is so amazing. I don't know how they can
yeah
make this any better. It
yeah
looks real.
like I don't need like sometimes I almost there have been some games I've played now where they're so realistic. I'm like this is like kind of overwhelming for me. Like can I just like get like Call of Duty Modern Warfare graphics to get like back please, like where I know it's a game. And but anyways, I
Locke is
do
over
think
here going,
yeah,
Holly
literally,
Lara Croft
I'm
looks
like
amazing.
I'm like in awe playing games. Um, and I think like for the ordinary consumer, right? Like, but it's like almost like now it's like with like capitalism and like consumerism, like venture, like people that are investing in all these data centers and things, they're like, we need the newest thing in here, and it's like everyone is like everyone is chasing like that like pinnacle of like what is the best chip, or that's almost kind of like what I think of too when I think of like, I imagine like Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos and like Mark Zuckerberg, like all like we need the supercomputer with the best chip in it, like kind of thing. And I don't know, it's like this like dystopian universe, but I don't know where I'm gonna go with any of these thoughts anymore. But I think action. We started talking about DPIN to get onto all this, didn't we?
Yeah, bro, you got to remember, just put in the chat what direction you want me to take it. I can pivot however you want. Yeah.
But this is actually, I feel like now we're really getting into the news, right? Like, this is what's happening in the world. This is like the main narrative, I feel like right now in the world is like AI. Besides like, all of the conflicts that are happening.
They still have an impact though.
Yeah. So yeah.
So let me show you how it's done. If you want to pivot to something else, like talking about conflicts in the world, yeah, they affect data centers, as we see a lot of things getting destroyed, especially infrastructure now is something that's of huge concern. Something else that's important as far as infrastructure goes, not only how to compute things, but how to survive, right? And I think that the biggest problem in the Middle East right now turns out to be desalination, because up to 90% in some countries, their water is coming from desalination plants. So there is a very dangerous thing here where somebody can literally put a country out of business and really not be able to operate their day-to-day functions of just living, if they are able to deactivate. We got to watch our words here for the algo. Deactivate these desalination plants, right? And we saw this happen early on, back in the Kuwait era, with Iran. Not Iran, I'm sorry, Iraq and Kuwait. So Iraq took out Kuwait's desalination plants, and they had to import water by truck from Saudi to keep life going for years until they rebuilt the infrastructure to be able to get desalination plants back online. It's like these geopolitical things actually have an impact in the world, and people don't think about it, right? So if you want to become the next trillionaire, figure out a more efficient way to desalinate water, and you're set for life.
I do think that, eventually something will come along sooner than later where it's like we make, generating energy for these data centers like incredibly more efficient or something. Like I think it's kind of like something will happen where it's like we kind of like figure it out. Like we said with the deep, like what happened with DeepSeek, right? Like it suddenly came out that like, hey, we don't need to like use the entire world's energy to like run AI, basically. I think something will happen that will kind of like smooth this process out right now. Because I was listening to, they also were talking about in this podcast, I forget what the name of it was, but about how it's kind of like, it really is like this race, this like build the biggest, like Elon, like there's a quote, they quoted Elon saying that like eventually we're going to be harnessing like all of the sun's energy to basically run AI, essentially. Like there's literally an audio clip of him saying that. And so it's like that's kind of what I was like, what I imagine, it's like we have all these like tech billionaire people that are like, we're trying to create the AI that is like, ever effervescent or like omniscient or something. And I
Effervescent,
think
isn't that what happens when you put the little tablets and goes?
Omniscient was the word. Omniscient was the word I was looking for. And I do think though, at some point we will like, because I think that the general public is like very concerned about like energy and like kind of like you said, like there's like it's whoever figures out like who can solve this like very like this kind of like what is the word? It's like it's like a problem that like we're at like a choke point, you know, with like energy or like, you know, kind of you're
Don't
talking
say
about
choke point, man. Don't
water.
say choke point. That brings back
That's a bad.
memories.
No,
Remember choke point 2.0?
no.
Choke point 2.0, they basically debanked a bunch of people because they were dealing in crypto. Basically,
Oh,
yeah, the people in power a few years ago was they were shutting bank accounts. They were telling banks they were not allowed to take in businesses that dealt with crypto. Like it was a whole thing.
oh, I'm looking at this now. Interesting. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. We don't have to get into we don't have to get into that, but that sounds par for the course. Um, but yeah, I think like somebody will like we'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like,
But people, but okay, let me be the devil's advocate here. Look, you're
yeah, yeah.
crazy. What do you mean? Like you think we're gonna come up with what quantum batteries next? Like what are we saying here?
I mean, I think so. Could be.
This is a
I think
legitimate publication, bro.
I know new scientists. Quantum batteries can be charged by reverse. Oh, action! I like this is how we're gonna close out the show today. Just make people ponder about whether time will be reversed. No,
No,
get rid
that's just a great way to actually end. I agree with you completely. You guys might think that we're talking about something that's going to be like in the like future, like you're talking about decades. No, this is literally here now. This is stuff people are actually working on and testing out. Like physicists have shown how time can effectively be reversed for some quantum system, which would allow for new ways to harvest energy. This is a really freaking crazy article and I love it because it just like let's say this doesn't even work, but it shows a couple of things. It shows that people are trying really cool stuff and some of it is working and people are not afraid to take a chance on some of these things. That's the most exciting part of it for me. Like possibilities are endless and I just can't wait to see what happens when people actually put their effort and their energy on what on things that actually matter, right? To me, that is a great way to close things out. Is like, hey guys, guess what? You could be the change that everybody needs you to be if you just spend a little time on things that actually matter. Like energy is a big one right now. That's why batteries are important. Why not try it? Why not do
yeah, yeah,
something?
yeah.
Like there's so many people with some wonderful ideas, and I feel blessed, man, to have the opportunity to work with so many of those guys, and girls actually. Well, no, let me see, girls. Let me see. Nah, the girls that I work with, they're pretty awesome at actually raising money. I got some really good contacts as far as capital raising. That's what the girls that I'm working with are doing. Much better than the guys. I'm serious. Again, just find your lane, right? These people that I work with, they basically went out on a limb and said, I am going to make this work. And they just figured it out. You
Yeah,
know, they're leveraging networks, they're leveraging their experience to get themselves to the next level and make an impact and make a difference the only way that they can. I can't have the impact that you can, Locke, ever.
yeah.
I don't know the same people that you do. I don't have the same abilities that you do. So ultimately, find your niche, find where you actually fit in. If you don't know where you fit in, reach out. I'd love to help. I don't have any
I like
mentorship
that.
spots at this point right now, but I would love to. Guys, like 30 minutes of my time is definitely worthwhile helping somebody getting to their next level. So yeah, by all means, I'm here for it. Feel free. It's a good time every time that we get to do something like that.
I like that. I like that
Thoughts?
action. I think that's a great way to close out the show, man. I think you're right. Somebody will come along and, you know, these kind of like we need people to like kind of go out on a limb and try new things. Like, you know, with the article they were showing, like there's another podcast I was listening to, but it's like we need these people to be kind of on the fringes to like,
Yeah,
you know, to like risk maybe there might be some risk involved or like to try new
there
things. Like
always is.
we need and for those people that's actually what they live for typically, you know what I mean? Like the people that are on the fringes like trying new like they like to be there doing those kinds of things and but we need those people to kind of like operate outside the typical bounds, you know, and like when somebody that's how you get innovation. Somebody over there finds something out and then it kind of gets into the main kind of consciousness, and then we kind of like collectively like, blow it up kind of thing.
Yeah,
But
dude, I'm working at
agree
the
with you.
University of Chicago right now as with their AI and emerging technologies groups. So like, I'm looking at these kids that are in college, man. Instead of having them drop out of college to build something cool, I want to encourage them to build something cool while they're in college. So like, I'm just looking for
Yeah.
avenues to empower people. I think that's super important. But Locke, what is your message to the world? I guess you can say.
My message to the world is that
Hey, what's up?
But it's not something Genzio is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a
How
house.
many know we do not understand? That we do not understand. Ladies and gentlemen,
You're back at the Genzio Media House.
Oswald, thanks so much for joining us today.